When you play this Ditto card in Pokemon TCG Pocket, you get the move Copy Anything. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon's attack and use it as this attack. If this Pokemon doesn't have the necessary energy to use that attack, this attack does nothing. So, say you have a water-type focused deck and your opponent's is fighting type. You will never get to use this move, since odds are your opponent's Pokemon's move have a fighting energy requirement and your deck only gives you water. You can totally copy that move, but because the copy still requires the same energy and rainbow energy isn't in TCG Pocket, well, you don't have the energy you need, essentially rendering this card useless 99% of the time. Why would they design it like this? That's just dumb, and not at all how Ditto works in lore. And Mew EX is right there, proving you can copy an opponent's move without the move's specific energy requirement. And this is just the first of dozens of dumb cards we're going to talk about in this video. From dumb mechanics to just stupid art. And I should stress, when I say dumb or stupid, I don't necessarily mean bad. There are countless terrible cards that just are simply not as good as others. Look at this Sunkern. This was printed in the year 2022 of our Lord. It is 2 energy for 20 damage. But that alone does not a stupid card make. A dumb card is one that makes you say, why? 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 And I know people will try to defend all the cards in this video since Pokemon can do no wrong, but if a card is only useful in a single fabricated situation that rarely if ever happens, that doesn't make it smart. Take Charity. Who doesn't love Charity? Apparently not Mr. Mime. Attach Charity to your active Pokemon. Unless that Pokemon gets knocked out, return Charity to your hand at the end of your turn. If that Pokemon attacks and does damage to the defending Pokemon, you may reduce that damage by any amount, rounded to the nearest 10. Why would you ever want to reduce the damage you deal? Well, there is an answer. Mr. freaking Mime. Charity is absolutely an answer to Mr. Mime, who has the Pokemon power Invisible Wall. Whenever an attack does 30 or more damage to Mr. Mime, prevent that damage. So say you only have heavy hitters out right now, like, I don't know, Arcanine. This Mr. Mime is completely immune to it, unless you make your Arcanine charitable. Mr. Mime hates that. So, if your local card shop had a swath of Pokemon players running Mr. Mime decks, you might want to consider including Charity in yours. It's dumb otherwise. Now let's consider Dialga from Call of Legends. For a whopping 4 energy, you can deal a mere 70 damage, and as an extra cost, shuffle your hand into your deck. No redrawing your hand or even just a couple cards. Nope, just shuffle your hand right on into there. You are top decking now for 4 energy. Did they just forget a sentence here? That's the kind of effect I could see working in Magic the Gathering, where just about any gameplay mechanic, even something like having an empty hand, can be made beneficial. In fact, Hellbent is an entire keyword for that. But Pokemon barely has any of that at all these days, let alone when this Dialga card was introduced. Sure, in a completely open format, you could run it with this brilliant Stars Empoleon who comes back to the bench from the discard pile if you have no cards in your hand, or this Battle Styles Morpeko, who does more damage in that case. But these are newer cards from the 2020s, not this 2011 Dialga. In fact, in the same set as this Dialga, there's this Houndoom who for only 2 energy does almost as much damage and forces the opponent to discard a card. Because being forced to lose cards in your hand is a bad thing you would want to inflict, not deal to yourself typically. What were they thinking? Besides not wanting people to use this card, I guess. This set also introduced this Cleffa, which will be our first example of dumb fun. Not necessarily a terrible card that makes me question the maker's sanity, but more so a card that is just stupid, and that's great. It's dumb fun. So stupid. I love it. This Cleffa is a continuation of a Cleffa trend that started with this one from 2000 featuring the move Eek! Draw 2 cards, little baby Pokemon screaming. And since then, they also introduced these 2 Cleffa cards. The first from Diamond and Pearl with Eek! Draw a card. Wait, so it's 1 extra E, but 1 less card? Meanwhile, the Call of Legends Cleffa has Eek! Shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 6 cards. Hit Eepy now. Also, wow? So its effect is better than Dialga's even? There are countless more examples of Pokemon with funny names for moves in here. Glope, Moo Squeeze, or this Ambipom with the move Furry Chance, while posing like it wants to be painted like a French girl. Yeah, Furry Chance for sure. Dumb fun. The art itself is sometimes what makes you think, why would they design it this way too? Take Dabbing Combuskin, this entire Eevee, or this Onyx that looks like it's an X-ray shot in hentai. It's even got the face. Why? Well, let's focus a bit more on mechanics here, and shoutouts to TCG Collector. Not a sponsor, but I hopped into their Discord and they helped me out quite a bit on this video. There's a link to their site in the description where you can easily keep track of your card collection from anywhere with an internet connection. Slacking V, honestly, is just goofy. If you have an even number of prize cards, he's completely useless. But that kind of tracks. Slacking is lazy and literally stupid, so yeah, that's fine. Unlike Paradise Resort, the retreat cost of each Psyduck in play is 1 colorless less. Psyduck of all Pokemon. So, I do understand that super exclusive cards, like these here, which were only given out at World Championship events, shouldn't be powerful cards. But they also don't have to be this. Now hold on. This card, it looks oddly familiar, but I couldn't tell you why. Wait! It's the shape. It's shaped just like a mattress from today's sponsor, Helix. Have you ever tried playing a card game on a bed? It's not optimal. Just use a table. But after hours and hours of hunching over a table, trap carding your Pokemon the Gatherings, the last thing you want to do is sleep on a crummy old mattress. So fix that and do so without worry. Because thanks to Helix's online sleep quiz, they can match you and a partner to the best mattresses that fit your sleep preferences. That's why 7 years ago, my wife and I got the Helix Midnight Lux with a medium feel and built-in cooling cover, perfect for the hot summer nights we live in. We noticed an improvement in sleep almost immediately. We didn't even need the 100-night sleep trial they offer to make sure you like it, and these days I'm constantly recommending it. A good mattress is absolutely a worthy investment. Good sleep impacts every aspect of your life positively, even in thinking up deck building strategies. And now, just about everyone in my immediate friend group has one, and our lovely editor does too. Look at it set up all nice. Look at his beautiful cat. Look at my beautiful cat. They both love these mattresses too. And while they may not understand the concept of money, you most likely do. So how does 27% off site-wide sound? It's their 4th of July exclusive partner offer. Whether you get a whole new mattress or just want to upgrade your generic mattress with one of their mattress toppers like this one, the Helix Premium Mattress Topper with Glaciotex, which somehow feels cool to the touch. Oh, it's so nice. You will get 27% off so long as you use the link in the top of this video's description, helixsleep.com/Lockstin. Ooh, here's a thought. Maybe your current mattress is so bad and old that if you just put a single card under it, you can feel it, and it ruins your back. Which card is this? Oh no. Cast form with weather reading. If you have 8 or more stadium cards in your discard pile, ignore all energy in this Pokemon's attack costs. The vast majority of decks won't even have more than 4 stadium cards in it, let alone enough to have 8 of them discarded while you're still in the middle of a game. And like, I get it. There are quite a few gimmicky cards that only really work if the entire deck is built specifically around them, but a lot of the time, those decks are unfun to play against. And this is a dumb gimmick. It's funny, but it's dumb. Ooh, you saved some energy and draw some cards. This is my whole deck. Cast form. It's funny. Funny like the legacy of 2012's Dragon Vault's first ticket, as perhaps the most useless card. Now, it was an okay card at first. Before you flip a coin to decide who goes first in the game, you may play this card. Don't flip that coin, and you go first. Going first had more advantages back when this card was introduced. It wasn't quite as restrictive as it is now, so it's a decent card, I guess. If you happened to draw it first turn, the odds of that are slim, and if you didn't get it, you now have a completely useless card in your deck. So maybe you put all 4 of them in there to increase your odds, but now you have 3 to 4 useless cards in your deck. And get this, one of the most overpowered meta cards at the time was this Sableye, whose legacy as a game breaker that should have been banned has spawned numerous videos, and its overeager ability just completely trumps the first ticket, just destroys its entire economy. As the old rules went, you would draw your hand before the coin flip to determine who went first. Oh, one player has a first ticket, so they automatically go first. No coin flip needed. But then you put down your Pokemon and reveal then an Sableye over-eager triggers, making its player go first instead. So even in your opening hand, first ticket is, in this case, useless. And as the nail in the coffin, this card, which came out in 2012, remember, got completely blasted into absolute uselessness the following year. Because in 2013, the rules changed, and now you flip the coin to determine who goes first before drawing your opening hand. Did they know that they were going to be doing that change the next year? Was this that dumb of an oversight? Magikarp Delta. The whole Delta set was about Pokemon with different types than their usual, like Terastallization, but Bush was still president. And this lovely Magikarp was Metal type, and it seems innocent enough. I mean, what's 1 Metal energy for 10 damage? Well, a lot back then. Pokemon TCG rules have changed a lot over the years. Heck, a whole type has come and gone. So I don't blame anyone for not seeing the issue here. Here, and I actually have these cards, hence me holding them earlier. You probably noticed that, I showed them too soon. So here's that Magikarp, and here is a Metal energy from the time. And whoa, what's all that extra text on the energy card? Metal energy doesn't typically have that. Here's a more recent one. Right? This is a more recent Metal energy. Why did the old one have a bunch of text? Uh-oh. Metal energy reduces incoming damage by 10, so that's nice. But also, it's a special energy card. It's not a basic energy card like the Metal energy today, meaning you can only have 4 of them in your deck. Why would anyone risk wasting a Metal energy for a measly 10 damage on a 30 HP fish? I mean, the only good thing about this card is that it can evolve into Gyarados. The Gyarados in this set is fire type. No, I'm just kidding. Well, not really. It is in the same set, but there is also an electric Gyarados with a Metal energy requirement. And it's fine, I guess. Not really notable. Just don't attach the Metal energy until it evolves. The risk is not worth it. It's stupid. But now I want to look at that other Gyarados. Gyarados Star Delta. All out blast. Discard cards from the top of your deck until you have 1 card left. Oh! So just mill yourself to near death. If your deck is empty, you lose the game. So this attack leaves you with 1 more turn after it. Very much a last resort kind of blast. So it has its use, but it's very situational, almost to the point that most people would question how dumb it is to include it in your deck at all. Here's another bad Gyarados. Gyarados Rumble. Just look at it. Yuck. I like the idea of low poly Pokemon art. In fact, one of my favorite things about Pokemon and Magic cards is all the different art styles they come in. But this look just doesn't translate well to Gyarados. And 4 energy plus 20 self-damage for 80 damage isn't really anything to write home about. Even for the time, it's just a bad card. Downgraded to dumb status thanks to the art. What might have the stupid, ugliest art though is probably the original Moo Moo Milk card. I can barely tell what I'm looking at, and it's like big on the screen right now. Now imagine trying to parse the positions of things when it's, printed on a tiny card. It's a trainer feeding a shiny Arbok from above? No, that's a lying down Sentret being fed from a bottle shaped in a way to resemble a cow and its udder? This is like Vincent Van Get Away From Me tier art. Pablo Pistolfo, he was the inspiration of this. This gets a big WTF no, were they dumb? From me. The card effect itself is alright. It's entirely just the art. That does not look like a Sentret, but okay. And the cow Pokemon Miltank is the source of Moo Moo Milk in the Pokemon universe, and we know other Pokemon sometimes get a taste of its teats, so a Miltank-shaped bottle would be fine, but what is this? Not a Miltank-shaped bottle, or even a Miltank-colored bottle. That is just the torso of a cow. How do they know what cows are? And they knew it was bad too. As soon as it came time attempt to print this card in another language, they changed the art entirely. Thank God. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Cedric Juniper. Put a Pokemon from your hand face down in front of you and tell your opponent its name. Your opponent guesses the height of that Pokemon. Reveal that Pokemon. If your opponent guessed right, he or she draws 3 cards. If your opponent guessed wrong, you draw 3 cards. Return the Pokemon to your hand. Oh my gosh, I would love to see this played in Masters tournaments. Running a deck with 4 of these is basically free card draw, unless your opponent just happens to have memorized every legal Pokemon's height. I play Cedric Juniper. Well, well, looks like now you'll have to guess how tall my Leavanny is. Leavanny? Yes! And if you don't, I get to draw 3 cards! Oh no! I need to think. Leavanny. Oh, it's like getting stick bugged, only it's a leaf bug. That can only mean one thing. Leavanny is 3'11". What? How did you? No! It just feels like magic unglued almost. It's so dumb, I love it. They later did a similar card with time too, except it's HP instead of height, which honestly, if you're playing with a lot of people who know the game well enough, feels a lot easier to guess than height, given that HP is a main mechanic of the game and is big and bold on the cards that you look at constantly. Height's just like a tiny little thing. No one pays attention to me. I'm tiny next. Ultimately though, these are all just later versions of the Blaine's Quiz cards. Blaine's Quiz number 1, guess the length. Blaine's Quiz number 2, is it an energy trainer or Pokemon? Blaine's Quiz number 3, tell the attack. Now which Pokemon is it? Blaine's Quiz show. Blaine's Quiz 3 again, but 4 cards instead of 3. They're just all so dumb and I love that. But at least it's not Imakuni. Your active Pokemon is now confused. Now, I get that it's supposed to be a stupid promo card on purpose, but being stupid on purpose is still stupid. So I gotta mention it. Maybe you compare it with this Inkay that evolves freely when it's confused? Only problem is Imakuni came out in '97 and this Inkay came out in 2013. So clearly they were not intended to go together. It's just dumb fun. Like a base set Porygon, only it's just dumb. With no damaging attacks and only 30 HP, it was a near death sentence to send this out. Oh, but for 2 energy, you could change its resistance. Okay, but why? It still can't attack. Why would you leave it out? There are far better options for walls if that's what you want it for. Its most useful move, Conversion 1, for 1 energy, you can change the weakness of an opponent's active Pokemon. Cool. So you change it, and then have Porygon retreat next turn. If it didn't die, it probably died, and attack with your better Pokemon against the enemy with its newfound weakness. Except, if your opponent simply retreats, well, retreating removes the status effects or changes done to it, so it's like conversion never happened. Good job! You wasted a turn! You toxic staller! What was even the point of this card again? Remember, it's Gen 1. It doesn't evolve. This isn't a lead-in to a Porygon 2 with an actual attack. It's just this. Ew, like Giratina V. Don't get me wrong, the card itself is fine, but this art, it's also super cool looking and I love it. But like as a poster, or a shirt, or banner art, or something other than a tiny card with tiny text on it. Dear God, this is the most difficult to read card I have ever had the misfortune of looking at. Put it in a sleeve that causes a bit of glare too, and nope. My headache is bad enough being in a loud, smelly game room. I would rather not. I would also rather not deal with all of the cards that introduce rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, like coin flips were not random enough, so Xatu, Mr. Mime, and Dan all want you to play rock, paper, scissors now. Team Galactic and Misty too. It's a recurring thing, I guess. Silly dumb as it is. But speaking of Misty, Misty's Goldeen from Gym Heroes deserves a spot here, and not for obvious reasons. Horn Hazard, yeah, 30 damage for 1 energy is pretty good for the time, even with a 50% chance of doing nothing. But its HP, gosh, that's low. Actually, this card is really just Nidoran male, but worse, since Nidoran at least has 10 more HP. This seems just like an example of one card being objectively better than the other. That's not stupid, that's just how cards be sometimes. Except what is stupid here? Misty's Goldeen is rare, and it's That's worse than the common Nidoran! Every pack of Pokemon cards has at least one rare or above card in it. Imagine this being your pull. The poor kid who spends his weekly allowance on Pokemon cards only to get cursed by this thing. And finally, when you evolve it, its rarity goes down. Misty's Sea King is just uncommon. Ooh, I pulled the Phantom Jugger of Canyon Hill. It's even holographic in the middle. Pokemon cards are so cool. Another Dumbo from this same set is Lieutenant Surge's Secret Plan, which to this day has the most text of any Pokemon card, which honestly is just kind of a standard Magic card at this point, but it reads, put one card from your hand face down onto your bench. You can't play this card if your bench is full. Treat that card as a basic Pokemon as long as it's face down. Flip the card if either player ever needs to know what it is in order to use an attack, a Pokemon power, or a trainer card. Flip the card if it ever uses an attack or Pokemon power, evolves, retreats, is damaged by an attack, or is otherwise affected by an attack. At any time during your turn, you may flip the card over. When you flip that card over, if it isn't a basic Pokemon, discard it and all cards attached to it. Huh? Now, that's a word salad and a half, so basically, you can put any card down and pretend it's a Pokemon. But when it attacks, or gets attacked, or is otherwise affected in some way, you flip it, and if it's not a basic Pokemon, you discard it. Huh? So, okay, you can put out like a flipped trainer card or something just as a decoy, and when it's attacked, you flip it and discard it instead of having a Pokemon take damage, or give the opponent a prize card. Yeah, I think that's the intended use here. It's Clefairy Doll, only significantly more complicated. It's mind games. And all of its words in there led to all kinds of bad side effects that the official game rules at the time had no real answers for, so this card was basically unusable in tournament settings, just straight up poorly designed. Dumb defined, definitely. Here's another Gen 1 dummy, but on a more recent card. This Slowbro from Unbroken Bonds. Its first move is fine, the second is potentially powerful too. Flip 3 coins. This attack does 100 damage for each heads. Cool. That's a good range of power there, 0 to 300, except, wait, there's more text, hang on. If all of them are tails, you lose the game. Imagine still having all of your prize cards out and then that happens. Technically, odds are that will only happen to you 1/8 of the time. But you know how coin flips go in this game. That'll happen half of the time. And the number 1 dumbest Pokemon card— oh, I haven't been ranking these. Well, I have indeed saved the stupidest card for last. Or should I say cards for last. And they are the Charizards! Yes, just all of them! Because of how stupid expensive they are by virtue of being Charizard. No wonder millennials can't afford housing. This godforsaken piece of paper sells for just as much. What is wrong with us? But I do love when card art tells stories, and that includes this Charizard card. To see more Pokemon card art that tells stories, watch this video next, and never stop using your noggin.